Alphabet just reported earnings and the stock was up 14% after hours. The big news of the night: Google is now a dividend payer. So I want to welcome aboard all dividend investors to Alphabet. And besides that, that was a pretty good report. So let's start to analyze this latest report from Google. Alphabet stock is up almost 12% now after hours, with a bit on earnings on revenue. It was basically a bit top and bottom, and they basically beat on all of their segments. And the big news was, of course, the company announced its first ever dividend. Let's get into it. Earnings per share was a huge beat. They reported $1.89 when it was expected $1.51. This is like 20% beat. The revenue is better than expected, and then we look into the segments. YouTube and Google Cloud, the revenues were better than expected as well, and investors pay a lot of attention in these two segments. That might be one of the causes that the stock is up a lot. Let's get into the announcement in specific. Sundar Pichai said, "Our results in the first quarter reflect strong performance from search, YouTube, and cloud. All three segments did pretty well in this latest quarter. We are well underway with our Gemini era, and there's a great momentum across the company. Our leadership in AI research and infrastructure and our global product footprint position us well for the next wave of AI innovation." A lot of optimism from the CEO of Google. The CFO said, "Our strong financial results for the first quarter reflect revenue strength across the company and ongoing effort to durably re-engineer our cost base. We deliver revenues of $80.5 billion, which is a 15% year-on-year and operating margins expansion." When you look to the revenues, they grew year-on-year 15%. Imagine a company as big as Google, one of the biggest companies in the world. This is not a startup or a small cap. This is a big tech company, one of the biggest in the world, and growing 15% year over year, double this. This is incredible in my opinion. Operating margins increasing from 25 to 32%, really great. Net income, it is an increase of 50%. This is huge, really good. When you look to search, YouTube ads, Google network, advertising, Google Cloud, all growing a lot. And surprise, surprise, the number of employees is decreasing. They have 190,000 employees. Now they have like minus 10%. They are doing better. Their revenues are increasing, their profits are increasing, and their number of employees are reducing. It's like the year of efficiency, like we have seen on Meta before. So all segments growing, profits growing. This is really great news for Google. This is an awesome report from Google, and Google is one of my favorite positions. It's my second biggest position, and as a shareholder, I'm really happy with this report. So another good news, they start a dividend program. They say it will be starting this quarter. It will be just 20 cents per share, which is a really low dividend. It's less than 1% per year. It is a dividend yield of around 0.3%, which is really low, but they are starting to pay a dividend. They have time, and this is good news for investors, but for me it's not. I didn't pay much attention on dividends. I want them to continue to get profitable, so I do really believe they can do better things with their cash in hand. By the way, they have a huge cash pile on their balance sheet. So, but what we see next, it's better for me. Stock repurchase. The board of directors authorized an additional repurchase of $70 billion. This is huge. Even though Google is not very cheap, I would say, but for me it's under the fair value. It was fairly traded. It was attractive at the moment, even though now the stock is up a lot. But buying back their shares, it was a good measure, in my opinion. I hope they continue to do share repurchase until they, for me, if they have a forward P under 20, it's always a good time to do stock repurchase. Right now they are around that, but let's see what they will do. For sure it will be a better use than a dividend payer, but this is a small dividend, so I will pay no attention, but investors are loving it. They talk about their problems that they have with employees in their business, but this is not important. For me, overall, Google is one of my favorite companies when I look into it. They continue to grow a lot. For the next year, they were expecting to grow around 11%, but after this report, they might be growing more than that. All check marks, really great company. Fundamental wise, one of the best out there. The stock is at all-time highs right now. I went to their revenues and net income, always growing. When I look at this company and do my valuations, my fair value, or a price that I'm really happy to buy, it was $170. Right now the stock is around, let me see, around 170. So I would say it's around fair value in my opinion, but this is a really great company. I did bought more Google shares in the last month, I would say, on the last quarter, but I really love this company. It is full disclosure, I do own this company. This is not investment advice, but this is one of my favorite companies. It's my second biggest position on my portfolio, a wide moat. And even though there are a lot of headwinds when we talk about AI and Google, but Google is well positioned and there are a lot of optimism. It's not only Microsoft. I would say Google is a really good competition, and in the future, I'm optimistic to say that it might get, or it will be, the biggest AI company in the world, but let's see, we don't know the future. But for this latest earnings report, Google, it was a real good report. The stock is up 12% after hours. Tomorrow it will be a big day for Google and for the stock market, and as a shareholder I'm really pleased, as you should do, guys. So I hope you like this earnings report reaction, guys. If you like it, please subscribe. See you next time.